It's been 8 years since Beats updated the Beats Solo 3 wireless, and we now have the brand new Beats Solo 4s. These new headphones from Beats/Apple retail for $199, and they look a lot like the Beats Studio Pros that were released last summer. And they're also just kind of the same design-ish as the last pair, but a lot of good upgrades are jam-packed that are much needed. Now, the unboxing experience remains clean and minimal. Inside the box, you get your carrying case, you get the setup guides, and some stickers. And then inside the carrying case, you'll find the Beats Solo 4s, which, by the way, come in slate blue, cloud pink, and this matte color, matte black to be exact. And honestly, it's good, but it's very fingerprinty, so if you don't like fingerprints all over your tech, then you might want to go with a different lighter color. Inside the carrying case, there are also two cables, a 3.5mm cable and a USB-C cable for charging. Again, the design of the Beats Solo 4 should seem very familiar and is actually very minimal as usual. You have one button to power on the Beats, and then on the left logo here, the left B, you get your controls. And so those controls are play pause if you press it once, or you can answer a phone call by pressing it once. If you press it twice, you can skip forward. 3 times, you'll skip back. And if you long press, you'll bring up Siri or Google Assistant, depending on which platform you're using. That's right, the best part about Beats is that you still get all of the great Apple ecosystem advantages, or you get an even similar experience with Android phones. The native Apple features are ones that you would expect from AirPods, like iCloud pairing, automatic handoff between devices, audio sharing, Find My, and more. Now with Android, you also get one-touch pairing, which is very nice to have, and ecosystem pairing through your Google account. So whatever devices you have registered to your Google account, even Chrome devices, they'll all be paired automatically with your Beats headphones once you pair them to your Android phone. You have the ability to add these to Google's Find My network, and you can seamlessly switch audio between Android, Chromebooks, or other compatible devices. There's also additional features available inside of the Beats app for Android. So truly, I can recommend these headphones to anyone regardless of the device ecosystem that they're in, and you should get a relatively similar experience no matter which device you have. Now, aside from, the pairing and the ecosystem, there are other reasons why I would recommend these headphones, and that's just the fact that they sound absolutely fantastic. I think they are tuned well enough for my personal music tastes. Now, in the past, Beats would be pretty bass heavy, and the type of music that I listen to usually doesn't need that much bass. But these seem to have a perfect balance between those lows, mids, and highs. There's still a little bit more bass than traditional headphones, especially like AirPods, but they're not overdoing it. Now, there's also no active noise cancellation, which might be a deal breaker for some of you, but because of the way these fit, which is on the ear and not completely covering the ear, I feel like there's a pretty decent amount of sound isolation happening that I can get by without ANC. And hopefully I'm not yelling because I can barely hear myself. Now, I haven't tried this out on like a plane or anything, but there are massive amounts of construction happening outside the studio on a regular basis here, and it's very loud, and I can often hear that construction. And so when I was sitting at my desk and working with these, I couldn't really hear anything aside from the music. I also sat outside with these on, and the music, when it was playing, I could really barely hear anything else, honestly. So pretty good sound isolation naturally without having ANC. The Beats Solo 4 also offer 50 hours of battery life for music playback, which is a 25% increase over the last model. And if you needed to take calls for a day and a half straight for some reason, well, you can do that. You get 36 hours of calls on a single charge. Now, when it comes to charging, you do get fast fuel, which is that 5 hours of playback on a single 10-minute charge. But the best part is, if the Solo 4s happen to die and you have the 3.5mm cable and a 3.5mm headphone jack available on your device, well, you can just plug in the cable and it works entirely without a battery, just battery free. In terms of comfort, the Solo 4s have the same soft memory foam here that you get on the Studio Pros. I like the way this feels over the last model. It's just a lot more comfortable. However, because of the way these fit on your head, and again, they are on ears, it's a little tight. And so after a while, this makes sense as to why the sound isolation is so good, but after a while, that tightness kind of causes some ear fatigue. And so I need to reposition it just a little bit, and I can maybe get a little bit longer on it, but definitely more frequent breaks compared to some over-ear headphones that I've used in the past. Lastly, Beats have upgraded the microphones for vocal improvements. And so here is a quick test for those microphones. This is a quick microphone test for the Beats Solo 4. It now features an upgraded digital voice microphone, and so it's got its own algorithm, its own noise learning algorithm, and we'll take a test of what it's like when it's pretty loud out, and if it's able to isolate my voice better. But here's just a standard quiet environment. Would love to hear from you on what you think. Here's a test of the Beats Solo 4 outside, where there's a plane currently passing by right over my head. There's construction to my left that's happening pretty loudly. And yeah, it's just kind of a busy area out here in the city. So it should do a really good job of hopefully isolating. But of course, would love to hear from you in the comments down below. All in all, this is just a fantastic update to a set of headphones that a lot of people loved and has been neglected for nearly 8 years. And so it was just definitely due for a major upgrade. And while it might not look like a major upgrade, there are tons of new things happening here, and the sound is just as good as ever. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think of the new Beats Solo 4? Are you planning to pick these up? Let me know down in those comments. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.